The great council chamber of the Galactic Union buzzed with tension as Ambassador Kale from the distant rim worlds stood before the assembled delegates. His blue-scaled face showed deep worry lines as he activated the holographic display. "Fellow beings of the Union," Kale began, his voice carrying across the vast chamber, "I bring urgent news from the outer systems. We have discovered a new species, one that calls itself humanity." A few delegates shifted in their seats, but most remained uninterested. New species were discovered regularly. The Union had protocols for dealing with primitive worlds. "These humans," Kale continued, "are unlike anything we have encountered. They come from a death world called Earth, a planet so hostile that it breeds warriors from birth." Commander Rex, the Union's military leader, laughed from his seat. "Another death world species? We have dealt with many before. The hunters from Vega Prime, the steel claws from the Dark Nebula. What makes these humans special?" Kale's expression grew darker. "They do not just survive their world, they thrive on it. They have turned their planet's deadliest creatures into companions. They call them dogs and cats. These beasts live in their homes, sleep in their beds." The chamber erupted in confused murmurs. No civilized species domesticated predators. More concerning, Kale pressed on, is their history. They have fought wars lasting decades, sometimes centuries, not for resources or territory alone, but for ideas. Abstract concepts they call freedom and honor. Senator Maya, representing the peaceful trade worlds, spoke up. "Surely you exaggerate, Ambassador. No species fights over mere thoughts." "I have the records," Kale replied, transmitting data, files across the chamber. "They fought a war that lasted over 100 years. They called it the 100 Years' War. Another conflict consumed their entire world twice in the span of 30 years. Billions died, yet they rebuilt each time stronger than before." The delegates began studying the transmitted files. Their expressions slowly changed from amusement to concern. "But here is what troubles me most," Kale said, his voice dropping to almost a whisper. "They have a saying, 'If you want peace, prepare for war.' They do not seek conflict, but they are always ready for it. Every human civilian knows how to fight. Their children play games that simulate warfare." Admiral Storm, the Union's most decorated military officer, stood up. "These claims are impossible. No species can maintain such a militaristic culture without destroying itself." "Yet they have not only survived but prospered," Kale answered. "They have eliminated disease, poverty, and even death itself in some regions. They explore the most dangerous parts of their galaxy not for conquest but for curiosity. They call it because it's there." The chamber fell silent as delegates processed this information. "They have sent peaceful signals to space," Kale continued. "Messages of greeting, music, mathematics. But their ships..." He paused dramatically. "Their ships are built like fortresses. Every human vessel, from the smallest transport to their largest explorer, carries enough firepower to level a city." President Cole of the Core Worlds finally spoke. "What do you propose we do about this humanity?" "We must approach them carefully," Kale urged. "Offer them membership in the Union immediately. Give them what they want before they decide to take it. Because if we make enemies of humanity, we will face something the galaxy has never seen." Commander Rex laughed again. "You speak of them like they are gods of war. They are just another primitive species with basic spaceflight. Our fleets number in the millions. What can one small world do against the might of the Union?" "That is exactly the thinking that will doom us all," Kale replied gravely. "Every species we have encountered fights to live. Humans live to fight. There is a difference, a terrifying difference." The council voted that day. The result was as Kale feared. 847 votes to ignore humanity, 3 votes to extend an immediate alliance offer. The Union would observe these humans from a distance and treat them like any other developing species. As the delegates filed out, chattering about more pressing matters, Kale remained in the empty chamber. He stared at the holographic display still showing Earth, a blue-green marble spinning peacefully in the darkness. "They were warned," he whispered to himself. "When humanity comes calling, remember this day. Remember that they were warned. Unknown. To the Union, human deep space monitoring stations had already detected their observation probes. In the depths of Earth's military command centers, plans were being drawn. Humanity had learned long ago that in a hostile universe, the best defense was overwhelming offense. The galaxy was about to learn why Earth's children had conquered their death world and turned their eyes to the stars. 6 months after the Council's decision, Captain Drake commanded the Union survey ship Harmony as it approached the Sol system. His orders were simple: make peaceful contact with humanity and assess their technological level. The Union expected a routine first contact mission. Drake had performed dozens of such missions. Young species were always excited to meet advanced galactic civilization. They offered tribute, begged for technology, and gladly accepted junior membership in the Union. Humanity would be no different. The Harmony dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. Immediately, Drake's sensors began screaming warnings. "Captain," his science officer Tom reported, voice shaking. "I'm reading massive energy signatures throughout the system. They have installations on multiple planets and moons." "Impossible," Drake muttered. "They barely achieved spaceflight 50 years ago." "Sir," his communications officer added, "we're being scanned by at least 30 different sources. The scanning beams are more sophisticated than our own." Before Drake could respond, his view screen activated. A human face appeared, weathered, scarred, with eyes that had seen too much war. "Unknown vessel," the human said calmly. "You have entered human space without permission. State your intentions." Drake straightened his uniform and put on his most diplomatic smile. "Greetings. I am Captain Drake of the Galactic Union ship Harmony. We come in peace to welcome your species into the galactic community." The human's expression didn't change. "I am Admiral Black of Earth Defense Command. You will maintain your current position while we decide how to proceed." "Admiral?" Drake was confused. "We simply wish to establish friendly relations. Surely there's no need for military involvement." "Captain Drake," Admiral Black replied, "any unannounced entry into our space is a military matter. You have been observed watching us for months. Our question is simple. Are you invasion scouts or genuine diplomats?" Drake felt his confidence wavering. No primitive species had ever detected Union observation posts. "We are diplomats, I assure you. The Union offers friendship and technology to help your species advance." Admiral Black smiled, but it wasn't a friendly expression. "Advance? Captain, show me your ship's maximum weapons output." "I beg your pardon? You heard me. Your ship's weapons. What can it do?" Drake hesitated. Union protocol forbade revealing military capabilities to primitive species. "I cannot discuss such matters." "Then you are not here for friendship," Admiral Black said. "You're here for conquest evaluation. Let me save you some time." The view screen split. Half showed Admiral Black, half showed a tactical display. Drake watched in horror as dozens of human ships decloaked around his vessel. They had been surrounded without knowing it. "These are our planetary defense ships," Admiral Black explained casually. "Each one carries enough firepower to crack a moon. We have 300 more in this system alone." Drake's weapons officer whispered urgently, "Captain, their energy readings are off the charts. A single one of those ships could destroy us." "Impossible," Drake said, but his voice lacked conviction. Admiral Black continued his casual demonstration. "This is our sole defense grid." The display showed a network of massive platforms orbiting the sun itself. Each platform can generate a solar flare on command and direct it anywhere in the system. The Union crew stared in stunned silence. "And this," Admiral Black smiled wider, "is our deep space fleet." The display expanded, showing hundreds of massive ships positioned throughout local space. They're currently spread across 12 star systems. Each ship carries a crew of 10,000 warriors. Drake found his voice. "Warriors? Not soldiers?" "Oh, Captain." Admiral Black laughed. "Every human is a warrior. Our merchants carry weapons. Our teachers know battlefield tactics. Our children learn to fight before they learn to read. We have been at war with our own world for thousands of years. Space war is just a new battlefield. But your messages, Drake stammered. You sent peaceful music and greetings to space. Yes, Admiral Black nodded. We hoped to find friends among the stars. Instead, we found spies watching us in secret. Tell me, Captain, how does your Union usually handle species it deems primitive? Drake remained silent, but his expression said everything. I thought so, Admiral Black said. Well, Captain Drake, you can return to your Union with a message. Humanity offers one chance for peaceful relations. Send proper ambassadors to negotiate as equals, or stay away from human space. And if we refuse? Drake asked. Admiral Black's smile vanished entirely. Then you'll learn why we turned our death world into a paradise. You'll discover what happens when you threaten a species that has spent its entire existence fighting for survival. The transmission ended. Drake stared at the blank screen as human ships maintained their positions around his vessel. The emergency session of the Galactic Union Council was called within hours of Captain Drake's return. His report had sent shockwaves through the Union's leadership. For the first time in centuries, a primitive species had not only refused Union authority, but had demonstrated superior military capability. Commander Rex paced before the assembled delegates, his confidence from months earlier completely gone. The situation is worse than we initially assessed. These humans have technology that exceeds our own in several key areas. President Cole leaned forward in his chair. Explain exactly what Captain Drake encountered. Their ships use some form of advanced stealth technology, Rex began. They surrounded our vessel without being detected. Our best sensors never saw them coming. Additionally, their weapon signatures suggest energy outputs 3 times greater than our most advanced warships. Senator Maya raised her hand. Perhaps they were bluffing, using holograms or false readings to appear stronger than they actually are. Admiral Storm shook his head grimly. We analyzed the sensor data. The energy signatures were real. Each of their ships could have vaporized the harmony without effort. The chamber erupted in worried conversations. Ambassador Kale, who had remained silent, finally stood. You were warned, he said simply. 6 months ago, I told this council that humanity was dangerous. You voted to ignore them. No one could have predicted this level of advancement, President Cole protested. I could, Kale replied, because I actually studied their history instead of dismissing them as primitives. While we were debating, they were preparing. They knew we were watching them. Commander Rex slammed his fist on the podium. It doesn't matter how we got here. The question is what we do now. We have 3 options: negotiate, ignore them, or eliminate them. Eliminate them? Senator Maya gasped. You're talking about genocide. I'm talking about survival, Rex shot back. If humanity continues to advance at this rate, they will surpass us completely within decades. They could threaten the entire Union. Admiral Storm accessed the main display. Rex is right to be concerned. Look at their expansion rate. The hologram showed human settlements spreading across multiple star systems. In just 50 years, they've gone from a single world to controlling 12 systems. No species has ever expanded this quickly. Because no species has ever needed to, Kale interjected. Most species are content with their homeworlds. Humans are explorers and conquerors by nature. They don't expand for resources. They expand because expansion itself drives them. President Cole studied the display thoughtfully. What did their Admiral Black actually demand? Formal diplomatic recognition, Rex replied. They want to be treated as equals, not subjects. They want full membership in the Union with voting rights. Unacceptable, declared Senator Ford from the industrial worlds. No species earns full membership without proving themselves through generations of service. They seem to think their military capabilities are proof enough, Admiral Storm said quietly. The debate continued for hours. Some delegates argued for immediate military action while humanity was still relatively small. Others pushed for negotiation. A few suggested complete isolation. pretending humanity didn't exist and hoping they would leave Union space alone. Finally, President Cole called for order. We will vote on 3 proposals. First, immediate military action to eliminate the human threat. The vote was 234 in favor, 616 against. Fear of humanity's demonstrated power outweighed aggressive instincts. Second proposal, formal diplomatic recognition and negotiated membership in the Union. The vote was closer, 389 in favor, 461 against. Too many delegates feared setting a precedent of yielding to threats. Final proposal, continued observation with minimal contact. We watch humanity but avoid both formal recognition and open conflict. This passed. 512 in favor, 338 against. Ambassador Cale stood as the voting concluded. You have just made the worst possible decision. You will neither befriend humanity nor eliminate them. Instead, you will watch them grow stronger while they watch you fail to act. What would you have us do? President Cole asked. What I said 6 months ago, Cale replied. Offer them everything they want immediately. Make them our allies before they decide they don't need us at all. That's surrender, Commander Rex protested. No, Cale said sadly. Surrender comes later. When their fleets darken our skies and their warriors stand in this very chamber, what you've chosen today is merely delaying the inevitable while ensuring the worst possible outcome. As delegates filed out, most believed they had chosen wisely. They would monitor humanity from a safe distance, maintaining the status quo while avoiding both the risks of alliance and the costs of war. None of them noticed the small human observation probe that had been silently recording their entire session. Admiral Black reviewed the footage from his command center on Earth, his expression grim. So they choose to remain enemies, he murmured. Very well. Activate the expansion protocols. It's time to show the galaxy what humanity does to threats. 3 months after the Union's decision, Admiral Black stood in the war room deep beneath Earth's surface. The massive holographic display showed the current state of human space, no longer 12 systems, but 37. The expansion had been swift and decisive. General Kane, head of human colonial forces, pointed to the display. The outer rim colonies are fully established. Each system now has defensive platforms and shipbuilding facilities. Our fleet has grown by 400% in the last 90 days. Good, Admiral Black nodded. What about Union response? They're watching, Colonel West reported from her intelligence station. We've detected their observation posts in 15 systems. They think they're being sneaky, but our sensors are decades ahead of theirs. Admiral Black smiled grimly. Let them watch. Soon they'll have much more to observe. The display shifted to show Union space. Their territory was vast, over 3,000 systems, but most were lightly defended. The Union had grown comfortable with their position as the galaxy's dominant power. They had forgotten what it meant to face a real threat. Admiral, Captain Lee from the Deep Space Fleet transmitted from his flagship. We're in position. All strike groups are ready for Operation Awakening. Admiral Black took a deep breath. Humanity had tried diplomacy. They had been rejected, dismissed, and treated as a minor threat to be contained. Now the Union would learn why Earth's children had never lost a war that mattered. Begin Operation Awakening, Admiral Black ordered. Show the galaxy what happens when you underestimate humanity. Across Union space, the attacks began simultaneously. Human strike forces, hidden for weeks in deep space, struck at 50 Union military installations. The attacks weren't random. They targeted the Union's most advanced research facilities, their primary shipyards, and their main communication hubs. On the Union military station orbiting Centauri Prime, Commander Vale watched in horror as human ships materialized from seemingly empty space. His defenses never had a chance to respond. This is impossible, he gasped as human Marines boarded his station. How did they get past our sensors? The human squad leader, Sergeant Hill, removed his helmet as his team secured the command center. Same way we've been watching your council. Meetings for months. Your technology is impressive but predictable. We've been fighting each other for thousands of years. We know how to adapt. Similar scenes played out across Union space. Human forces didn't destroy the installations, they captured them. Within 6 hours, humanity had seized control of the Union's most critical military infrastructure. But the real shock came next. Admiral Black's face appeared on every communication screen throughout Union space, military, civilian, governmental. His message was simple and terrifying. "Citizens of the Galactic Union," he began, "I am Admiral Black of the Human Defense Command. For months, your leaders have watched us, debated our fate, and planned our containment. Today, you learn the price of such arrogance." The display behind him showed the extent of human operations. Union worlds across the galaxy watched as their most secure facilities fell to human forces in perfect coordination. "We have captured 53 Union military installations without killing a single defender," Admiral Black continued. "Your, personnel are unharmed and will be returned. We took these facilities to prove a point. We can strike anywhere in your territory at any time." President Cole, watching from the Union capital, felt his blood turn to ice. However, Admiral Black's tone softened slightly. "Humanity does not wish for war. We offer the Union one final opportunity for peaceful relations. Send real ambassadors to negotiate as equals. Recognize human sovereignty over our territory. Cease all surveillance of human space." The display showed the Union's captured installations. Human forces were already withdrawing, leaving behind equipment and data that proved their technological superiority. "If these terms are refused," Admiral Black's voice hardened, "understand this. Humanity has spent its entire existence learning to fight. We have turned warfare into an art form. Every human ship, every human colony, every human civilian is prepared for war. We number in the billions, and every one of us would rather die fighting than live as subjects." The transmission ended, leaving Union space in stunned silence. Within hours, emergency sessions convened on every Union world. The reality was undeniable. Humanity had demonstrated the ability to strike the heart of Union power without warning. Their forces had appeared and vanished like ghosts, leaving behind proof of capabilities that exceeded Union understanding. Ambassador Cale, watching the crisis unfold, felt no satisfaction in being proven right. He had wanted to prevent this confrontation, not witness its inevitable conclusion. President Cole called him within the hour. "Cale," the president's voice was strained, "you know humanity better than anyone. What do you think they'll do if we refuse their terms?" Cale considered his response carefully. "They'll do what they've always done, Mr. President. They'll fight. And they'll win." 1 year later, Ambassador Cale stood in the renovated council chamber of the Galactic Union. The hall looked the same, but everything had changed. Human representatives now sat among the delegates, their presence a constant reminder of how quickly the balance of power had shifted. The vote had been unanimous, eventually. After humanity's demonstration of force, even the most stubborn Union worlds recognized reality. The choice was simple: negotiate with humanity as equals or face them as enemies. No one wanted to discover what humanity's full war machine could accomplish. President Cole called the session to order. "Today we review the first year of the Terran Accords. Admiral Black, would you provide humanity's assessment?" Admiral Black, now wearing the uniform of a Union admiral alongside his human insignia, stood to address the assembly. "The integration has proceeded smoothly. Human technology sharing has improved Union defensive capabilities by an average of 300%. Our joint exploration missions have discovered 47 new worlds suitable for colonization." It was true. In exchange for full membership and recognition of human territorial sovereignty, humanity had shared technological advances that revolutionized Union capabilities. Human stealth technology, weapon systems, and faster-than-light communications had been freely given to all member worlds. Senator Maya raised her hand. "The trade benefits have been remarkable, but many of our citizens remain concerned about human expansion rates." Admiral Black nodded. "Understandable. In the past year, humanity has established colonies in 83 new systems. However, these are all uninhabited systems in previously unexplored regions. We have not encroached on any existing Union territory." 83 systems in 1 year. Commander Rex muttered. Most species take decades to establish a single new colony. Most species, Admiral Black replied, don't come from a world that tried to kill them every day for millions of years. Expansion is survival for us, but we're not expanding at anyone's expense. Ambassador Kale stood to address the chamber. If I may, I'd like to address the real question everyone is thinking but afraid to ask. The chamber fell silent. You're wondering if humanity will eventually dominate the Union through sheer growth and capability, Kale continued. The answer is yes, probably, but not through conquest. Worried murmurs filled the chamber. Humanity will dominate through success, Kale explained. They build better ships, explore faster, fight more effectively, and adapt more quickly than any species we've encountered. But here's what you're missing. They're also the most generous allies the galaxy has ever seen. Admiral Black remained silent, letting Kale speak. Look at the evidence, Kale continued. They could have conquered us all by now. Their military demonstrated the ability to strike anywhere in Union space. Instead, they chose partnership. They've shared every technological advance freely. They've defended Union worlds from pirate attacks without being asked. But what happens when they outgrow us completely? Senator Ford asked. Admiral Black finally spoke. The same thing that happened when we outgrew Earth's challenges. We found new ones. The galaxy is vast, Senator. There are threats out there that dwarf anything the Union has faced. Ancient automated defense systems, hostile species beyond our current borders, phenomena that could end all organic life. The display activated, showing long-range sensor data from human deep space missions. We've detected signals from beyond the galactic rim, Admiral Black continued. Something is coming. Something that makes our little territorial disputes look like children's games. Humanity's expansion isn't conquest. It's preparation. The chamber fell silent as delegates absorbed this information. The truth is, Admiral Black said quietly, humanity needs the Union as much as the Union needs humanity. We're builders and fighters, but you're administrators and diplomats. We explore and expand, but you maintain and preserve. Together, we might survive what's coming. Apart, we'll all fall. President Cole stood slowly. What exactly are you saying, Admiral? I'm saying that in 10 years, maybe 20, something will come to this galaxy that will make all our current concerns irrelevant. When that happens, you'll be glad humanity spent these years building the largest, most advanced fleet in galactic history. The session ended with more questions than answers, but the trajectory was clear. Humanity had not conquered the Union. They had transformed. The galaxy was becoming stronger, faster, more united, and more prepared for threats yet unknown. As delegates filed out, Ambassador Kale approached Admiral Black. You could have told them from the beginning, Kale said, about the external threats, about humanity's real motivations. Admiral Black smiled. Would they have believed us? Sometimes people need to learn trust through experience rather than words. And if you're wrong about the coming threat? Admiral Black's smile faded. Then the galaxy will have the strongest, most advanced civilization in its history. There are worse legacies to leave behind. Outside the council chamber, human and alien children played together in the gardens, speaking a dozen languages and dreaming of stars yet unexplored. The future remained unwritten, but for the first time in centuries, the galaxy faced it united. The end.